kind of setting that intention, but then also just letting the universe take over and knowing that there's more forces at work than what you can do in your humanness.
So I letting go and trusting the universe, and that's always been challenging for me.
It can just be so easy sometimes.
It can be.
Things can just flow together so beautifully, and so if I can just like step back and remember that.
People think that space is the final frontier, but actually consciousness is. Welcome back, Superstar. I'm here with Leanne Marie Webster, and we are going to chat about some of our favorite books so that you can run out and buy them or stay away, all right? What is one of your favorite books, Leanne? Or your most, let's say, let me change it, not favorite, most impactful books.
Ooh, one of my most impactful books is Mike Dooley, Leveraging the Universe.
Oh, I love that one. That was a good one.
Simple.
It was like poetry, right?
Yeah.
What is the central theme of that book?
It's about it's a lot about what we've talked about in a lot of our videos. It's kind of setting that intention, but then also just letting the universe take over and knowing that there's more forces at work than what you can do in your humanness, and not getting caught up into like, how is this going to happen?
Right.
Because there could be a whole big bounty of things waiting for you that, if you're too focused over here, you won't leave yourself accessible to all those things.
Well, I always struggled with at what point do I give up, or at what point do I give up control? Like, how much is enough for me to do? I always kind of tended toward doing more rather than less. Product of my high achiever kind of first couple or triple 3 decades.
Right.
So I letting go and trusting the universe, and that's always been challenging for me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Oh,
I'm a fellow, I'm a lawyer. I'm, very like, got to figure it out. Got to do the work. And what I found is it can just be so easy sometimes.
It can be.
Things can just flow together so beautifully. And so if I can just like step back and remember that.
Well, and so I would have to say one of the big lessons, and try to think of what book I got this from. I don't know. But has been that, okay, yes, law of attraction type of stuff. You set the dream, you set the vision, but it's not just a mental thing to manifest and have that outcome.
Yeah.
It is really, it goes way deeper than that.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
It's like the vision, yes, and, how do I feel about that vision? Cultivating desire and gratitude and love and all these positive emotions.
And who are you?
Yes.
When you have that, right? Usually we want things because we believe it'll make us feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And you can feel that certain way without ever having the thing.
And what if you cultivated the feeling that certain way before having the thing?
Right.
Oh, Joe Dispenza. Now we're talking Joe Dispenza world, right?
Totally.
Like we're totally in breaking the habit of being yourself, being supernatural.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's one of my favorite books.
Love it.
Yeah, he's been instrumental in changing my life. Do you remember, of course you do, the Lake Arenal meditation that I created for myself using Joe Dispenza's script. It's not really a script. Ooh, I'm going to get in trouble. I created my own version of what it was.
I was inspired.
I was inspired by. And that whole thing, that whole journey of cultivating gratitude and cultivating abundance, right? First, not waiting until the business was at a certain number, but just really, truly just cultivating the emotion from zero, which is something to learn how to do, actually.
Totally.
And then practicing that every single day. I had discipline, remember?
I know. You do have discipline.
I know. It's a thing, right?
It might not be your leader.
I don't lead with discipline.
But
that's a very true statement. So Joe Dispenza, which one? Would you say Breaking the Habit?
Yeah.
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, back to you. Ping pong match. Your next book.
Well, if we would, I do have a soft spot for, this is not a business book, but I love David Sedaris.
Oh, yeah.
Like We Talk Pretty One Day and Naked. Those are the early ones. He's got Carnival Snackery is one of his newer ones. Like these autobiographical essays. And he's so funny the way he writes things.
Yeah.
And the way he
turn a phrase.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love him. I have seen him.
I can't wait for him to come see your one-woman show. Yeah, and then he's going to tell you how inspired he was.
Oh my God.
Let's set that intention right now, Leanne.
Oh my God.
Who's coming to your one-woman show?
David Sedaris.
Yes! Oh my God,
I
can you
will
believe?
see you.
All right, we can slice it, cut it, send it. Okay, yeah, he's great. I don't remember the books very well. It's been a few years since I read his books, but I do remember loving them and maybe wanting to pick them back up because
yeah,
you've just like you're infectious. Your love of his stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you remember her at the bookstore about a year ago? She was there.
That's right. Mm-hmm. We meet every time.
Okay. He knows who you are. Okay, back to me. I would say back to sort of a personal development, spiritual. I would say a book that awoke in me a belief that perhaps there's more to life than meets the eye. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like a book that sparked sort of like, oh, maybe there is magic in the world. Maybe this isn't just hooey. Maybe it's not made up hocus pocus stuff. And that was, drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. The name of it. Hold on. Oh, An End to Upside Down Thinking. An End to Upside Down Thinking. Dispelling the myth that the brain produces consciousness and the implications for humanity.
Oh, wow. That's
Girl,
a mouthful.
That was a big long subtitle. I interviewed the author, whose name I really don't remember at this moment, on my podcast. And I read the book so that I could interview him.
Okay.
It was one of those things.
Yeah.
And it was just mind-blowing. It's all research-based, science-based conversation about things that in the past would have been called paranormal, for example. Things like remote viewing and telekinesis. And I think it was telekinesis. I always get mixed up on my ESP terms. But you know what I mean? Like these kind of paranormal-y things, future cognition, precognition, like knowing things before they happen.
Wow.
So it was a book that kind of tried to explain that scientifically.
Wow.
And was able to show with science that these things actually do happen.
Wow. That's cool. I mean,
so that was a game changer for me because it was like, that's what sparked me to start going down the rabbit hole. The Field, another great book,
Yeah.
The quantum physics, the field of the consciousness.
Yes.
They say, one of my favorite new quotes is that people think that space is the final frontier, but actually consciousness is.
Oh, wow. I really like that.
Yeah, and you think about it now with people doing all the psychedelics and that's coming into more of the mainstream,
right?
And using in like psychology and things, and the quick impact that it can have on people to tap into that higher consciousness and come back.
Yeah.
It can be a game changer, a life changer.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I get so excited. I would say that's part of where I'm going, is like want to explore more of that world, quantum physics and consciousness and all that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and to that end, I know a book that I love that I know you will love, you read too and loved, is Busting Loose from the Money Game.
That's another one, yeah.
It's right in that vein, and it's so terrible cover.
Yeah, don't look at the cover. I did a review on Busting Loose from the Money Game. I have a whole separate video about it.
Oh, you do? Okay, great. So check that out.
Yeah, watch that.
Just really reframes a lot of things. It's not just about money by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah.
A book that we have in common as well, 12 Stages of Healing.
Ooh, yeah.
Right. Donnie Epstein.
Yeah.
It's a great book. What have been some of your big breakthroughs from that work?
Well,
you've done a lot of this work, by the way.
Yeah. It's just really understanding, first of all, that there's more than one, right? Sometimes we get stuck in the one, right? And that it's a cycle. Yeah. Because we like to stay in those, like, the 6th and the 7th and the kind of like
the zone. So she's talking about stages. They're essentially like stages of consciousness, actually, that are related to kind of states of emotion as well. And so it gives you these 12 stages that you can kind of use, like she's doing right now, to kind of place where we are, like I'm in a stage of, I'm in suffering in this moment.
Yeah.
Or, I'm ready, like feeling excited.
Yeah, and how to tap into those different aspects of the emotion and things like that. And so, and knowing that there's nothing wrong with any of the stages. Like 12 is not better than 1.
No,
12 is
they're all part of the human experience.
Exactly.
And they feed each other.
Exactly.
Just like, and that's spiral dynamics. Oh, last book. We're not going to go deep into it. We don't have a lot of time. But spiral dynamics, that's another really great kind of philosophy of evolution and the evolution of humanity that I highly recommend checking out.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
All right, so if you're here watching this video and you're on the entrepreneur journey of your own and you're a speaker, author, coach, consultant, someone who wants to grow and scale their business while honoring your heart, your soul, your alignment, then let's connect. Leanne has been to my business breakthrough retreat, 15, 20, maybe 25 times. I don't know. She knows how amazing it is. And this is where we support you in developing your vision and your plan and helping you uplift. So if you want to learn more about that, go to superstaractivator.com/go, and you can go down a little bit of a rabbit hole to find out if it makes sense for us to chat. So I am publishing a book. It's not just any book, and I've always wanted to publish a book, but I always thought it would be like a business book. Mm-hmm. But what this is, it's actually here it is. I got my proof of it. Let me show you. It's a picture book. It's right now, the title is, it's going to change, but here it says, a children's book for dreamers of all ages. But I want to fly, a children's book for dreamers of all ages. Mm. And so it is going to change, I think, to an adventure for dreamers of all ages. I think. So we'll see. Okay. So it's almost ready, but clearly I have not sent it to the printer yet. This is just a proof. But it's a 48-page rhyming poem that I turned into a book. I hired an illustrator, and I turned it into this book, and I'm really excited about it. I'm proud of it.